Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you in-depth video analysis of the SP500 ETF, the SPY, for Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. At wickedstocks.com, we provide daily analysis on the SPY and Triple Q in the same format you see in Tesla and Apple every day on YouTube. And today, we're thrilled to share an important milestone that we've reached, a community of 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. This exciting journey and growth at wickedstocks.com would not have been possible without you, our dedicated YouTube subscriber. And so as a token of our appreciation for your support, we're not only offering you our daily SPY report on YouTube for Tuesday, June 20th, but also giving you an exclusive opportunity to become a member of wickedstocks.com with a 20% off discount. At wickedstocks.com, we deliver daily analysis in the SPY and Triple Q, along with weekly analysis of the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and the long bond ETF, the TLT, as well as 2 individual stock picks every week you never see on YouTube that cater to the 3 to 5 week longer-term swing trader to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor, all under one encompassing subscription package. Simply use the code WICKED20 to get 20% off your first month. Once again, thank you for being the bedrock of wickedstocks.com. It's your support that inspires us to provide you directional clarity in a wide range of actively traded markets. Let's take a look at the charts. Just a reminder, actually I'm going to go to this chart here. I'll get to 413.83 in a moment, but really is 417.12, this longer-term descending channel top we settled above 3 weeks ago that set off a long-term buy signal. It meant a few things, for me anyway. One is the resumption of a long-term bull market. If you were to condense this particular weekly chart and go back 50 years, you would see a descending flag at the top of a long-term move, a long-term bull move, a long-term high, and that is typically a setup for bull trend resumption. You really can't act on that unless you or until you close above the descending channel top itself, because prior to that, the market is susceptible to rotating south off the top of that channel and potentially back to new lows. Obviously, that didn't happen. We're in what I would call a good low through the rest of the year. That 479.98 all-time high from January of 22 expected by the end of the year or sooner. On the way up, we've got a 2 to 3 month target that we're about 3/4 of the way reaching right now at 452.89. We have yet to test this rising channel top that is about 8 months in the making. Yeah, October was the low here, so roughly 8 months in the making, 7, 8 months in the making. Now, we did get snagged roughly at 444.76, at least this intermediate rising channel top last week. And I say roughly because on the daily chart, which I can show, I think right here, in fact, I can zoom in, I think, with another chart, but 441.74 is the daily version of this rising channel top, and the weekly version that I just showed a moment ago is 444.76. So I'm going to talk about that right now. Actually, I'm using 444.76 as our early week resistance. What I like about it, well, for one, on the daily chart, we did, yes, close just above the 441.74 version, which I have as a minor point today, on Thursday, and came falling back to close below it on Friday. This is oftentimes a sign of an overbought market, but I'm not in that camp just yet. And in fact, I'll just jump to that. It's 437 even, this steeply rising channel bottom. Now, if we close below 437 even today, then yes, overbought market should then yield bearish continuation. I've got several stepping stones on the way down, but it actually could be a full route to the downside, wherein if we close below 437 even, the market can unwind all the way back. Actually, I'm going to show this chart into this zone of long-term support. We have a new rising 1/3 speed line that is projected off that October low and includes the high from last week in part of its calculation. This area is narrowing gradually. If given the opportunity to buy it over the coming weeks, it's a good one. It should contain selling quite possibly through the rest of the year, and from here we can stabilize and turn higher to new highs over the weeks to follow. I don't know if we're going to reach this lower area or not, but I will say that if we settle below this 437 formation, this is actually a good image I can talk about right now. 437 even formation, we can sell off all the way back into the 4-teens, the 417, 413 handle. I think it's quite possible. That would be what you would call a near-term sell signal within the confines of a longer-term bull move. So these counter-trend moves, and this would be one closing below 437 even, has a very strong track record in not completing its objective. And I think that whenever you've got, either a near-term sell signal in a long-term bull market or, a near-term buy signal in a long-term bear market, either one of those near-term signals is prone to failing to reach what you would consider to be its overall objective. So under other circumstances, I might call 416.62, which is a long-term channel top on the daily chart, a 2 to 3 week objective below 437 even. I'm definitely open to that not playing out. And so what I would see is likely is at least 429.48 within a few days of closing below 437. 422.31 is quite possible by the end of next week or sooner. Yes, and I will say that if we close below 437 even, you should respect the possibility for this market to continue all the way south into the zone of longer term support that is changing a little bit every week. This is the weekly chart version of that. We'll definitely be watching the daily versions of these as well for kind of fine tuning on an intra-week basis. And we're not there yet. Once again, we would need to close below 437 even for that to look to me like an increasing likelihood. Now, having closed above 441.74 last Thursday. This formation is at 441.74 for Tuesday, January 20th, and then falling back to close below it on Friday, as I say, is a potential sign of weakness. But it's not a clear sell signal per se that comes with below the 437 formation that I'm showing right here again. But 441.74 on the weekly chart is 444.76. And I showed that a moment ago. And why I like 444.76 is because not only is it just above the high from last Thursday, I think that's 443.90 as I recall. But if we were to close today above 444.76, it would take out Thursday's high. We would be settling at a new high settlement price, and should carry with it bullish continuation as we continue into later week. So 441.74, definitely a tradable level. It's a minor point only, but 444.76 is the point to settle above today for yielding, I think, by the end of the week, the low 450s, midterm objective. The first clear objective above 417.12 is 452.89. The overall objective is 479.98. And truly, I expect the market to take out that 479.98 high in the months ahead. The question is whether it'll be by the end of the year or not. So back to 444.76, closing today above it does indicate the 452.89 formation. By the end of the week, on the daily chart, it comes in at 453.39, and that is right here. And so the 452.89 to 453.39 region, if given the opportunity to sell it, I would, especially if you're more of a 3 to 5 week swing trader, having potentially bought the market when it settled above 417.12 3 weeks ago. The 2 to 3 month objective was 452.89. It may well be realized inside of 3 to 5 weeks the way things are playing out. 452.89 to 453.39 is a good area to take at least some profits. And if you're an aggressive, say, 3 to 5 week swing trader, it's also a good area to liquidate perhaps the 445 or 450, 455 out of the money calls you may have bought several weeks ago, and in turn reach for the 415 out of the money puts that may be in reach in the month or two to following a test of 452.89. Now, closing above 452.89 is ultimately expected. I don't expect to see that this week, but if, say, between now and the end of July, we close above this meaningful rising channel top, then the overall objective at 479.98, the long-term by the end of the year target, would likely be realized then, possibly within another 3 to 5 weeks. As you can see, bullish momentum would remain intact, and that could be just a mere 3 to 5 week move up to 479.98, where we could double top on a monthly basis, possibly longer. But I see nothing significant about 479.98 other than the fact that it is the all-time high for the SPY. Let's talk downside one more time. I'm just going to mention, and this is actually good for day traders and 3 to 5 day swing traders. 437 is meaningful support, able to contain daily selling pressures and quite possibly selling into later week. From here, we could rally back to the 444.76 rising channel top. So these are the two levels. This is what I would call, if you're looking to the far right in the support resistance, this is the two-sided market for the next several days. And if we close outside these levels, then we have a directional indication in the respective direction, closing above 444.76. Once again, that 452.89 level expected over the next 3 to 5 days. Closing below 437 even shifts the 3 to 5 day swing trade south, and even really the 2 to 3 week swing trade potentially. This after having, number one, not been able to close the week last week above this 444.76 formation. We also closed back below it on the daily chart after having closed above it on Thursday. So that in itself is a sign of, you could call it kind of a neutralizing of bullish momentum. But in terms of actually reversing bullish momentum and shifting the tempo south as we move through the rest of the week and into next week, perhaps, it would be a settlement below 437 even. So I'm pushing 10 minutes here. I'm going to leave it at that for Tuesday's SPY report. You have a great day.